Hi, my name is Justin. I'm 13 and I live in Southern California. I'm an environmentalist and I am trying to recreate the world for a greener earth. And I'm doing this for the animals, people, and just the planet itself.
I am 7.5 years old. I am in first grade and my project is called For the Love of Frogs.
Being an environmentalist means to help protect the earth and to protect 30% of it by 2030. Another meaning of being an environmentalist is to protect the planet for just people to enjoy, just have fun outdoors. My friends would probably describe me as determined, brave, and adventurous because I started my frog project in kindergarten selling toy frogs, and now it's grown bigger. I'm protecting the rainforests in Ecuador, cleaning the beaches, even like protecting waters in Panama. This frog was the newest painting, but this was like a few years ago. And then that's the updated frog. And this frog right here is my frog I use for my design on my hat and everything else. Some fun facts about me are that I really like geocaching. Going camping is another one of my favorite things. I'm a football and soccer player. I like to create and engineer stuff. A typical day for me when I'm going to school, wake up at 6 in the morning, get to the bus. Sometimes I have like environmental club at my school. And I come home and maybe I'll have like a meeting with someone for my project and do my homework, and then I'll ready for the next day. On the weekends, I normally play like video games with some of my friends. Sometimes I have like Zoom calls, Zoom meetings with some of my counselors for my projects and organizations and stuff. Then I always like to either go hiking or go outside bike riding with my family. Some hikes I like to do around San Diego are probably the Annie's Canyon Trail. I developed a love for frogs by just when I was 3 years old, and I got this frog blanket stuffed animal, had like a frog birthday party, and then people just started giving me a bunch of like frog toys, so they've just been my favorite animal ever since. And I started selling these toy frogs to donate to my local wetlands called the Biona Wetlands. I would donate gloves, go on like cleanups there, and now that my project has grown, I'm now helping the rainforest in Ecuador.
Each levy raises $3 to protect land in Ecuador.
The first time I encountered a frog was this little pond at a park. One of them like swam up to me and I got to hold it. When I put it back, it kept on like wanting to swim up to me, but I can't like take it home because I like frogs when they get to live in the nature. In the moment when it came back to me, I wasn't really thinking of it, and later on in my life, I think it's pretty significant that now I've done all of this for the frogs. When I was learning about frogs, I learned that they were indicator species. And this is very important because they're basically telling us the world needs our help. So say if frogs are dying in one area, that means that land must be polluted and we need to help save it and like protect it. Frogs are indicator species because they breathe and drink through their skin, so they're very sensitive to the environment, so they know when the land's polluted or not. Some interesting facts about frogs: there's over 5,000 different types of frogs. They live everywhere in the world except Antarctica. If you were a frog, your tongue would touch your belly button. My project first started when I read the book called What Do You Do With an Idea? But my project started growing after I read the second book in that series called What Do You Do With a Chance? And I had to learn I had to take chances and be brave, and because I used to not take chances. So when an organization called Reserva reached out to me. They said, hey, do you want to help protect the rainforest? And I said, yeah, I want to. So I joined their organization. I so far have protected 100 acres of land in Ecuador. My confidence has been growing throughout. At first, like not be able even to do what I was now. If I was like back 5 years ago, I wouldn't have wanted to do this. But now that I've seen all this does to help inspire kids and help the rainforest and help get plastic out of the ocean, recognize that like you have to keep going no matter what. I have gotten certificates and awards for my products for the rainforest, and I also got to meet Dr. Jane Goodall, and she told me like, wow, you've done so much work in the wetlands and the rainforest, but then she told me you have to protect the oceans and rivers from the plastic pollution, all the great garbage patches. And she told me this fact that by 2050 there could be more plastic in the ocean than fish, and you're not going to want to go in an ocean full of trash. So that's how I learned like the rainforest is and the wetlands is just not the only way to have to help this whole earth. Yeah, after I met Jane Goodall, I knew I just had to start protecting the oceans. I first started making like these benches out of caps. This person in Cameroon, Africa, he reached out to me and he said, hey, will you help me with my plastic pollution problem? This is where the parallel project started. I would do it here in America, and people all around the world in Canada, Cameroon, Tanzania, Africa, India, just all around the world, they would do it over there so we could help eliminate the use of plastic bottles and plastic. If you want to protect the planet, you need other people too. You can't just do it by yourself. Like, it's impossible for one person to protect the whole planet. So you need maybe you can start off with friends and family members, and once you gain your courage, you can go and you can start off small, but then grow bigger and be helping the rainforest too. I also have an environmental club at school, and the first year I did this, I wasn't even the person who made it. My friends and classmates were inspired by all the work I was doing. So if you can inspire other friends and classmates, that is just like a big win to get more people helping the environment. Even if like the first year I barely had any club members, so maybe sometimes less club members is good. You have to think on the right side. That's what I realize now that I have a pretty bigger club my second year doing it. So it's kind of hard to manage everyone. I think creativity is very important in the work I do because I got to meet this man named Boyan Salat. He made the interceptor boat, and he's a big example of not giving up. He reached out to 300 businesses. None of them, except one, responded saying it was a horrible idea. But he kept on trying, and using his creativity and his creative mind, came up with the interceptor boat, which is this boat that goes in rivers and stops all the plastic from going into the ocean. Because 80% of plastic that goes into the ocean is from all the rivers around the world. My goal is to work with businesses, kind of have them helping the environment. One business is Native Shoes, and they actually are making shoes now out of algae. Working with businesses comes in where I'm making my own business with my family called Recreate.World, and we're selling things that are good for the earth, kind of like this shirt I'm wearing and these socks I have on, camping materials, beach materials, and just stuff that are good for the earth and doesn't harm it. So this water bottle is part of like the new business and have my sticker on it. Reduce, reuse, recycle, but we want to recreate. You have to use like engineering and creativity to recreate the world, and that's kind of how we have like the gears in our logo. 91% of plastic doesn't get recycled, and of this 9% that does, 5 of it gets like recycled in bad ways, and then so that's only leaves 4%. So that's why we need to recreate the plastic industry and just recreate the world in general. All the products that are going to be in the shop, I'm going to give them a stamp of approval, and there's GFP business approved and then like product approved. Another thing that I think is like GFP business approved, reusable like spoons and forks. Me and my club are trying to get those for our lunch at school instead of plastic spoons and forks. The thing I'm most worried about is reaching the goal of 30% of the planet by 2030. We need to protect the land and trees for the oxygen they make from carbon dioxide. You might be asking, well, why do you need to protect the oceans and the water? Kelp and seaweed, it actually produces 4 times the amount of oxygen as just a single tree. So we need to reach the goal of 30% of the planet by 2030 of land and water, and that's my goal. If we want to make a really like big change, we need like the government and like businesses to work with people, because businesses have like a lot of power in what they're selling, and then we also need the government and a lot of world leaders, because so far all the million letters, they donate $3 to the rainforest, and this is a classroom size of land in Ecuador, and then they're given to world leaders, and we tell them, hey, work with us, look at all these thousands of kids that want to help protect the rainforest. So we have a new project where we are going to be putting trackers on sea turtles. We have to show the government in Panama that we need to protect these Pearl Islands and this beach and its waters around it, because these endangered little leatherback sea turtles live there. So we need the government to work together. Some of my most memorable adventures are Ecuador, and I gotta catch like a bunch of frogs, and I gotta like to hold them, and I gotta go like piranha fishing, kayaking, saw all these different cool animals. Another memorable adventure is whenever I go camping, because like I always have like my friends there. I have like really fun memories of Tucson, Arizona with my school, and we were doing a bunch of service work when we were working at this like church / like school place. The pastor bought all of us pizza. After that, I had to drive 8 hours to go see Dr. Jane Goodall near kind of like San Francisco. I saw her, I gotta say, like, you inspired me to do all this with plastic pollution. Then drive 8 hours back to get home at like 12 o'clock to go to school the next day. The stuff that gives me hope about the future is probably just like seeing other kids helping the environment. I just think it's really cool. Maybe even people younger than me who just started. I'm like, one day they might be one of the best world leaders helping the environment. Some people that inspire me are Ding Dong and Boy and Slat, but also my parents. They're always helping me with my project, and my dad with like the business, and everyone in my family is probably environmentalist. Even my brothers saved 2 acres of land. You don't have to have a family that's an environmentalist to start helping nature. Like, maybe you can find like friends at school, maybe like teachers, and you could probably do it on your own, but that would be more difficult, you probably will want to get some help from other people. Mint chocolate chip. Frogs. Pizza. Lagoons. The math. YouTube. Bicycle. Amazon. I like action. I mean, probably algae shoes. The lessons I've learned is probably to have a growth mindset, and this means to always keep trying. You don't want to have a rock brain, is what people call it. Like, you try it once and you're like, nope, I can't do this. You want to have a growth mindset and use the word yet, like I can't do this yet. Always remember to keep on trying and have hope, creativity, continue working, stay determined, always trust your wild side. No matter what happens, you always have to risk it. You learn from your mistakes. Be brave. One idea can change the world.